New York Times broke the MeToo article.
telling us how we should live our lives, how we should work, how we should appear at the workplace, what we should and shouldn't talk about.
But how many of us know how to even create a workplace for a minority in that field?
It's just the patriarchy all over again.
Because we are so interested in the news cycle of the day.
I think what really gets our goat is again and again people telling us how to live our lives.
You want people to live for you and for your convenience, and you don't even want to have these conversations.
Every individual there has the power to create some change.
Honestly, some of the most exciting startup ideas I've heard in the last 1 year have come from women founders.
We have that ability to build communities, to nurture, to bring people together. I'm sorry. We are sorry. All of us women are sorry because apparently we ruined the workplace. Also, apparently, we fell asleep and woke up not in 2026 but maybe 1986, right? It's quite ironic that we started the previous year with an episode on DEI, and we're back a year later still talking about whether DEI is important, relevant, what's the role and place of women in the workplace. This has got us quite riled up very early in the year. So let's see what we really did to ruin the workplace so badly. Welcome to Small Talk Work Play Build. I'm Subha Chandrasekharan, leadership and career growth coach.
And I'm Hasita. I'm a brand consultant, co founder at Motley Crue, and I'm responsible for ruining the workplace.
Yes, she's angry. Bear with us, folks. But aren't we all, as women who have fought very hard, and many generations before us have fought very hard to earn us a lot of the rights that we enjoy even without thinking twice today. But despite all of that, apparently we've come into the workplace and made it very woke, very liberal, maybe unsustainable too. So, where did this start? A podcast.
Mm. And interestingly, the podcast is called Interesting Times.
Oh, I see. Yes, very interesting times. So, apparently, an opinion podcast of the New York Times, no less, decided to have a conversation titled How Women Ruined the Workplace.
Mm.
And obviously, there was backlash, thank
Did
God.
women ruin the workplace? It
Did
wasn't in
women? Oh, okay. So, there's still a question there. Did women ruin the workplace? Which they answered with a yes.
Yeah, resoundingly, right? I
Very so,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then because women protested, that's what we apparently keep doing. Because we protested, they changed it to
Did liberal feminism ruin the workplace? What was the committee here? Like, what was the committee here that decided?
so it's not just feminism, it's the liberal feminism
Yeah.
that because is there a feminism that's not liberal? Am I missing something?
I mean, the opposite, right? Which is conservative feminism, where the idea is that, and we've seen that with a lot of trad wife Instagram
Actually,
accounts that came out the year prior, where the idea is that you are supposed to be living a softer life, like a gentler life is sold to us and as an alternative to whatever it is that we are doing right now,
mm,
right? But what it's reinforcing in some sense is the traditional gender norms, of course, but also, please let's be very honest. A lot of the trad wives who are harvesting honey on Instagram, I'm sure they have a lot of support happening on the side.
yeah, 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 baking
And
cakes
it's so
and
interesting that the idea of harvesting honey is the first image that comes to mind, because I think a certain duchess has kept herself very busy over the holidays with the same philosophy.
oh, how we love her. But no, generally, women support women.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's so typical, like, and why it feels like we're back in 1986 is that it's just the patriarchy all over again, right?
Mm,
Telling us how we should live our lives, how we should work,
mm,
how we should appear at the workplace, what we should and shouldn't talk about. right? One of the things that they bring up is Me Too.
Hmm. Do you see the irony? The New York Times broke the Me Too article all that while ago. Like
Yeah,
2016 is not that far away.
correct. No, and Me Too was a movement, is continues to be something that gives a lot of women voice. And still the stats say otherwise,
Hmm.
right? How many actually feel safe to report something is still a very low, I don't know,
Single digit percentages,
single digit
yes.
percentage. So that's saying a lot about how much we've actually broken the workplace. Um, and I think what really gets our goat is again and again people telling us how to live our lives,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, and honestly, that attack on Me Too is just a little too personal because what are you saying that by complaining we've changed, how things were? Then be glad for it, no? If you are really that concerned about the idea that oh, all these complaining women tropes are ruining it for us, not allowing us to be productive, don't harass, no,
Yeah,
just don't go there, no.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
build that safer workplace, and we've spoken about it so much. When was the last time you even bothered to find out whether your female colleague needs a restroom along the way?
yeah,
Right, and a safe restroom. You're not saying some random just stand on the highway and do your business sort of thing, right? Like, have you thought about the idea that someone might have needs that are not your own?
yeah.
And just the challenging of that has what made it a softer workplace. How?
Correct. No, so many patterns I've still not shaken even a bit,
Hmm.
right? In terms of late in the evening meetings or inconvenient times for getting together as a team, or assuming availability over a weekend or for an evening catch up, or drinks with the old boys club. I think a lot of that still happens.
Hmm.
A lot of that are still what women call out as barriers to knowing what's happening in the organization. I mean, that's fundamental, right? To be in on what's happening in the
Yeah.
organization, and to networking and to moving up in an organization. But God forbid, three, four women, sit in a conference room and talk work, they're gossiping.
Hmm. Yeah, using your woman privilege, which have you experienced it? Because I certainly haven't. And apparently, I use it to get ahead of
Yeah,
others.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, what do you even say in these contexts? It's not even that. I don't think all of us believe this, right? Like, I want to be very, very sure that there are allies on all sides
yeah,
who don't
yeah.
believe in this notion. But how many of us know how to even create a workplace for a minority in that field, right? By virtue of having multiple parallel professional tracks happening in my life right now, it's not natural for a lot of these industries to have women working yet,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So I understand that you don't get how to work with that truth, but just the fact that I've stepped in and I've requested for a change doesn't make me the villain either.
correct.
Let's learn together, let's move together. Is I don't know how much more can you argue for it.
Yeah. No, and this is across employment in different levels in the workforce, right? Of late, I don't know if you've noticed, couple of times I've had door delivery by women,
Hmm.
right, in these 15-minute grocery
Yeah.
couple of times recently, and they came in pairs.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
was, I liked that.
Hmm.
That I mean, somewhere then I'm hoping that the from the employer perspective, they're putting two resources where one is enough, but
Hmm.
two ensures safety,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I hear
You're
you.
going, literally strangers are opening their doors,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that felt good. But also that this whole gig economy
Hmm.
is based on doing x number of deliveries in so many hours, and going into all sorts of unknown
Hmm.
lanes
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
gullies. And what support do these women have in terms of a restroom break, or taking care of themselves
Yeah.
physically in difficult times? I'm not sure. Like, we it's still us trying to fit into their world, and that's what I think peeved me most about this article, that you're saying that we have to come into the workforce. Yes, please come, because we need the double salaries, we need that better quality of life as a unit, etc., etc. So please make money. But when you step into our world and our domain, which is the workplace, then the conversation is not does the workplace have to change to welcome you, but how you will change to fit into that workplace. And
Hmm.
that narrative seems to be continuing.
Across basic premises as well. Which, but again, I mean, if you want gig work, then what have you done to support it? You
Mm.
want people to live for you and for your convenience, and you don't even want to have these conversations. I think it reeks of privilege. Honestly, that article is probably like, it's a 10% closed room study of some sort, because
Yeah,
it really can't be,
yeah. No, it I think was meant to provoke. I don't know.
Oh, and it has provoked,
Yeah,
clearly.
but I don't think the intent was let's start a conversation. The
Hmm.
intent was that this is what we believe,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
have ruined the workplace in whatever way they said it. But it, I think what's helpful is that we're talking about women at the workplace again. We're acknowledging that, I don't know, so little has changed also, no?
I mean, we said it last year. I really don't want to have this conversation again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, the current political climate doesn't seem to, give us any reason to shut up over a
Mm,
period of time. But
mm,
really, really, is this where we still are? At what point will we get on to more, I don't know, urgent issues, more pressing issues? And I'm also thinking, what is this telling a younger person? Because today you hate me, I mean, your loss, honestly, but right. But that's not how a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old
yeah,
old would be thinking, right? So,
yeah.
what messaging are they taking away from this nonsense?
Yeah, no, I think about it all the time. I have a daughter entering the workforce very soon. And heart of hearts, I know it's not a safe place,
Hmm.
right? It depends on what kind of work she chooses, which city she chooses.
Hmm.
There are safe cities, and there are definitely cities which are not safe,
Hmm.
right? And one of those may be more suitable for the kind of work she wants to do,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Then what do? You don't want to hold them back, because you definitely don't want to stand in the way of career opportunities,
Hmm.
but the systems are not so much in place that is going to make it any safer for her,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So a lot still has to change, and I hope these conversations, okay, fine, it's one more year and we're talking about it, but okay, at least we're talking about it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And there are a lot of women who are doing good work,
Yeah.
right? Whether you're on the employee employer side, and we've worked closely with Upsurge and Excel, and there are many such events where in Upsurge it was all about women who want to make it to the C suite, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it is so encouraging. You have about 150 women in the room who are talking about, tell me, teach me, guide me, coach me, how do I
Do
become a
this.
CXO,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right? And that is invigorating to be in that room.
Hmm.
And then there are so many other programs for those who have, let's say, up to 10 years experience, up to 5 years experience. And then on the women entrepreneur side, I've been lucky to be a part of multiple groups,
Hmm.
right? HEN, which is her entrepreneurial network, or CWE, which is Catalyst for Women Entrepreneurs, where you are acknowledging that women find it difficult in terms of raising funding, in terms of convincing somebody that I, as a woman, am the sole business owner and I can
Hmm.
make this thrive.
Hmm.
In terms of opportunities, coming to know about what schemes are there, how to get the best working capital loan, and the way they come together
Hmm.
and help each other out. All of that gives a lot of hope.
Honestly, some of the most exciting startup ideas I've heard in the last 1 year have come from women founders or with,
Hmm.
women on the
On the
founding team.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much we work. I mean, our team is predominantly women as well.
Hmm.
And it's so interesting to see how much perspective they're able to bring to work by going and exposing themselves to the world out there. Right? Like you hear so much, so many dreams, you hear so much ambition, and maybe it doesn't come in the form of saying, oh, tomorrow I'm going to become 100 crore company, but then to get there you have to do a lot of other things, right?
Yeah.
That rootedness, that practicality is so very much there across age groups and across job functions. There's also another professional acquaintance of mine who is also a social media influencer, and she talks a lot about the idea of living, or rather the lived experience of being a woman who's built. And let me be so clear, she sold her last company for 200 crores and she runs a venture studio, right? So
Mm.
she's not,
Mm.
in your terms, she is the definition of ambition.
Yeah.
And she is now talking about what it means to live a healthier life, to be able to do more of that,
Mm.
right? Like,
Mm.
nobody is saying do less. We're saying
Yeah.
maybe there are other ways to live life
Yeah.
which may not conform to certain biases which have been around. And if that's challenging, then that's challenging, right? That's how
Yeah.
change happens.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know, all of the men at the workplace have been beneficiaries, right? Of moms who are more educated, moms who were able to support their journeys, sisters, spouses, whatever. I don't know, like just a simple form of giving back.
Yeah.
If you could just say, okay, how are they being treated in my organization
Hmm.
or in
Hmm.
my team,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And every individual there has the power to create some change.
Yeah, yeah, and they are already. And I'm just saying, I know it's so tempting to write these radical headlines and,
Yeah.
create this drama which we all seem to be living for. But how much good work are we just losing perspective on because we are so interested in the news cycle of the day?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like there are so many sectors of work which thrive completely on women. Like if you look at nursing, if you look at teaching, even
Hmm.
if you look at social service,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So many NGOs are run by women or powered by them or are doing the groundwork and the hard work,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Those are also workplaces.
Hmm. Hmm.
And for somebody to sit in their ivy tower and say, oh, women ruin the workplace, again, like you said, so elitist and
Hmm.
privileged,
Hmm.
because even they are not able to look beyond those. I don't know what are they looking at, some set of cubicles in Manhattan. I'm not even sure what is their worldview.
Yeah, focus group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And also, no one does community building like women, right? Like,
Hmm.
how many women friends do we have? How different are they from each other?
Correct.
How different are we to them? But you never see beyond a point, you don't see challenges there. It doesn't affect
Hmm.
one woman's ego usually to hear that someone else or a woman is different from her. If anything, it's seen
Yeah.
as a source of enrichment, it's seen
Yeah.
as a source of community, right?
Correct.
And we've spoken so much about the power of female friendships in our own, private lives. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want all of that, then you're really losing something. So please step out of whatever is this notion that says I have to build a more masculine
Hmm.
workplace or I have to build a more masculine society in any means,
Hmm.
and keep your eyes, ears, mind open to what else is out there. What is that other group of people who don't look like you, think like you, talk like you? What are
Yeah.
they telling you?
Yeah. We had a guest last year, and Nirupama's the two books, right? Women reclaiming their power and how can leaders be more nurturing.
Yeah.
And I think that's, we keep coming back to these topics and these notions. And okay, maybe it's just now part of one more thing in our to do list, that we keep reminding people
Hmm.
that this is what we need and this is what, how we keep moving forward,
Yeah.
right?
And why isn't that a conversation about women and their role in society always veers either in one extreme or the other, right?
Mm.
Like, either you're deified, you are the mother figure who is supposed to be so sacred and sacrosanct. Like, how do you come down from that pedestal? Nobody is saying put us so high up there that we can't, move a
Yeah.
muscle without falling from there. At the same time, we are not also the villains of the story, right? Like,
Yeah.
all of us somewhere fall
Yeah.
between those two extremes.
Yeah. No, and like again, the elitism of it. There are so many women in our own kind of circle of influence, concern, whatever you may want to call it, who are working so hard. The unorganized sector,
Yeah.
especially, right? Like I can think of three, four women in my immediate kind of space. Somebody who cooks in our apartment, somebody who's my house help, somebody who's a bus attendant, all women who have been done a disservice by society because they've got a spouse who is of no use or
Mm.
absent,
Mhm.
right? And they've been left to bringing, doing hard labor, bringing up the children, trying to make ends meet, right?
Mhm.
And it's other women who support them,
Mhm. Mhm.
through through good
So
employment, through
many,
one
yeah,
nourishing
yeah,
meal a day, through
yeah.
a quick, kind of uh, funding in times of medical
Correct.
crisis,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think as a, I don't know, as a species, like we have that ability to build
Mm-hmm.
communities, to nurture, to bring people together, to, like you said, like allow each other to rise.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also thinking, we speak of workplace loyalty. Don't we see it every day
Yeah,
in our lives? The
yeah,
people that have worked with us for years
correct.
outside of any kind of formal corporate
Yeah,
structure, right?
yeah,
Like tomorrow, they could lose their job and still they are here for us 10 years later, 12 years
yeah,
later.
yeah,
It means something, right?
yeah. No, no, it's true. Um, Let this at least trigger a lot more conversation. It's okay. We are a little bit jaded. We are a little bit
Yeah.
tired.
Make the memes, make
Yeah,
the, I'm on my way to ruin the workplace. Does anybody need anything? Let's start calling out bullshit for what it is
yeah.
to begin with. And oh, for God's sake, I don't know, will we ever stop writing radical headlines? I don't know. But at least while we are at it, might as well have some fun and, drag it through the mud.
I swear. But I think, yeah, I think the lesson for all of us is that it's just a reminder to keep at it.
Hmm.
And we are lucky. We are at a stage where a lot of what we today do or want to do um, is allowed. Right? I
Hmm.
mean, you talk about just a few generations back, women were not allowed in so many industries. They were not allowed to step out of the house. They were not allowed to have a meaningful career.
They were not allowed to have a voice.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
not allowed,
yeah.
period.
Correct, correct. It's interesting when now we all have elders around us, and the women especially. I feel like I'm also more curious now, and when you ask them what else they wanted to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes very tragic. Like they all
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be something, but the society at that time said no, you'll get married and you'll kind of
Mm-hmm.
sit quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the better thing to do
Hmm.
when you speak to grandmas and grand aunts
Yeah.
who are around. So we are lucky, we are privileged, and okay, we'll keep fighting the fight.
Yeah. And also, to someone who doesn't identify as a woman, please understand that there are a lot of battles across a lot of fronts that are being fought. Like, the last thing I want to do is justify my paycheck, right? Like,
Yeah,
for which I'm doing the work on a day in, day
yeah,
out
yeah.
basis.
That paycheck which still has a pay gap,
Pay
by the
gap
way,
as well,
right?
right? Like, I'm doing it for lesser, I'm doing more, and then I'm also expected to be the one in charge of the birthday cakes.
Yeah,
And I'm somehow supposed to be the more compliant, more
yeah,
easygoing, individual in a group dynamic. Those are enough battles as far as work is concerned. And then when we go home, there are other battles waiting for us. When we step out into the world, there is a third battle waiting for us.
yeah,
Please don't introduce more. That's the least you can do.
yeah. Yeah, we all cheered for the women's cricket team, and sometimes it feels short lived. Like you want that fun and oh they won and oh India is great and all of that, and then you forget that
The work that
the
went
work
into,
the work
yeah.
that went into getting them there, and the work that individually these women have done, and some of their stories, like, they're heart wrenching, from
Mm-hmm.
small towns where everyone around them said, who are you to think you can be a cricket player, of all things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And they had one parent who believed in them, and they took some steps forward. So I think that's what we need to do, just
Yeah.
fight the good fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, not going to stop.
Yeah,
Just because we are tired, none of us are going to stop.
yeah. So this week we have some read, watch, listen recommendations for you, as always. So I have a combination of recommendations. One is this new book that I picked up, which is called Breath, and the other is Sleep by Ariana Huffington, which came out a few years ago. But of late, I've kind of rediscovered the importance of sleeping well, sleeping where you feel refreshed, right? And it had to do with figuring out why I wasn't getting that kind of sleep, what were some of my breath patterns which were coming in the way. This book particularly digs into a lot of ancient wisdom, some of the stuff that even Art of Living talks about. And I think it would really help all of us to focus a little bit more on that aspect of our wellness, which we kind of push it to the end of the day literally and give ourselves a few hours and then wonder why we wake up feeling tired and angry and with a headache, or just not ready for the day. But I think, Ariana Huffington says that no matter what she does, make sure she gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And believe me, when you do that, even just try that for 2 3 days in a row, it feels life changing, right? So a combination of breathing well, breathing right, and good sleep can really be a game changer.
So a few weeks ago, I went to watch a movie in the theaters, and interestingly, I observed what people were doing once the movie was over. Most of the people who came to watch the movie were women, and some of them had come with their male partners. Some partners looked absolutely deflated. They walked as if someone had died in the theater. Some of them held on to their female partners. And that was very telling to me in terms of the impact that the movie had. The movie is called The Girlfriend. In a world where we have watched Animal and in a world where we have watched Arjun Reddy, I hope that you will also give this movie on Netflix a try. It's in Telugu, but it's got subtitles. What does it take to reclaim your space when you have been challenged by society, when you've been challenged by your upbringing, when you've generally just walked through a life that is very difficult? I highly, highly recommend that you watch The Girlfriend on Netflix. Interestingly, directed by a male.
So watch Girlfriend and get a good night's sleep. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.